few months ago, I attempted to get all of Mafia 3's 85 achievements. Unfortunately, I encountered game-breaking bugs during the base game preventing me from doing so, which also caused me to give up on the DLC achievements. But with the announcement that a new Mafia game is coming, I feel it's time to go back and finish off the DLCs. There are 3 DLCs, each with 10 achievements, and we'll be kicking things off with the Faster Baby Pack. This DLC revolves around a white supremacist sheriff called Slim Bowman. A woman called Roxy and a guy called Mitch want him out, so they call upon Lincoln Clay for help. The first achievement you earn is for simply driving into the town. I did so completely accidentally during my main playthrough, so there's one achievement out of the way. Our first task is to sneak into a police station and steal a folder full of evidence. The sheriff has essentially covered up a bunch of witnesses against him, and we need to find them. After a massive shootout and a car chase, we head back to Roxy and Mitch. Now, we have to get the witnesses out of town to keep them safe. In order to do this, we just cause as much chaos in the town as we possibly can. This mission is actually crazy. I mean, we drive through massive donuts, destroy a bunch of market stalls, cause huge explosions. Once the witnesses are free, we get an achievement. Upon returning to the base, we go and grab the folder of evidence to take to one of our acquaintances, but when we leave, the sheriff ambushes us. These guys are pretty insane. I mean, they're actually going to set us on fire. I mean, I guess I did the same thing in the base game, but still. That's cruel! Luckily, they needed more content to pad out the DLC, so Roxy comes in with a sniper and shoots our chains off so we can get up and massacre every police officer and clan member in sight. We chase down the racist sheriff, knock him out, and shove him in the back of our ute. Oh, and then Lincoln makes out with Roxy for some reason. Now, this is Christian. He's a lawyer who wants to help with the civil rights movement. Unfortunately, the cops have kidnapped his wife, so he asks us to go and free her. I started out going in stealth, but then someone saw me, so I thought screw it and whipped out the assault rifle. I rescued her and returned her to her husband. There's also a preacher named Jeremiah and a widow named Irma. Jeremiah is tired of the clan members harassing black churchgoers, so we go and put an end to them. Irma is also really pissed off because her husband was killed when he tried to bring forward evidence against the sheriff, so we go and avenge him and steal as much evidence as we can. That's where the story of the DLC ends and we get our 4th achievement. One of the main features of the Faster Baby DLC is that Mitch is a weed grower and the two of you set up a garden. There are essentially lots of different types of marijuana that you can grow, and as you grow more you level up your herbology level and unlock more valuable types of weed. There are 3 achievements linked to this mechanic. You have to upgrade the garden fully, unlock max herbology level, and sell $10,000 worth of weed in one go. It's actually really annoying because each batch takes roughly an hour to grow and that time has to be spent in-game. In the meantime, I decided to go for the other achievements. Scattered around town are a bunch of billboards with Slim campaigning for re-election. You can destroy them by driving through them. I used the method by which you just drive through one, drive away for a minute or so while it respawns, hit it again, and repeat. After doing that 10 times, the achievement popped. For the next one, you have to kill 30 enemies with proximity mines. This one was definitely the most annoying, but it's not too hard. You just go into the middle of town and start waving your gun around until the cops show up, at which point you lob your landmines at them until the achievement pops. And finally, simply trigger 10 of the traps at the side of the road. For example, you can shoot at a big heap of logs to make them fall onto the road, stopping other cars. Do this 10 times and you're set. Now it's just the weed-related achievements. You increase your herbalism via the total profit you've made, and at each herbalism level you can go out and find other strains of the drug. I found the easiest thing to do was just to leave my PC on while I was studying. When I made $50,000 total, I got max herbalism level, which then enabled me to upgrade the grow house fully. And finally, I created the most luscious strain of marijuana I could and sold it for over $10,000, earning the final achievement of this DLC. Next up is the Stones Unturned DLC. Just now, I've realized that I literally did the entire main story for this DLC during the first video I made. So I've got 5 out of 10 of the achievements already. The only thing left to do is the bounty hunting missions and a few miscellaneous achievements. For a quick recap, we team up with a good friend of ours named Donovan to stop a rogue CIA agent from launching a nuclear bomb. Anyhow, one of the guys we meet during the story is a bounty hunter, and he gives us assignments we can do. For the first one, I have to kidnap some guy who likes to run around naked at protests. Don't ask. To help us execute the task successfully, we are provided with a dart gun, which will be important later on. After tranquilizing him, I put him in the boot of my car, which earned an achievement. After that, there were 2 more people I had to kidnap. One was easy, but the other one was so fucking hard, it took me over half an hour. One of the times, I just couldn't find a car with a boot big enough to fit the guy. Another, I was shot by the cops, and another, I just crashed into a wall. Trust me, it wasn't a fun time. When I got back, I was awarded with another achievement, and a weird conversation where no one moved their mouth.
Calling mother on me. Come on, you.
The last 2 achievements in the DLC are for killing a bunch of people with certain weapons. First, I went and knocked out 30 people with the dart gun I got earlier. Told you it would be important later on. Alright, I've done 25, let me grab some more bullets. There we go, knock out 30 people with the dart gun. Sweet. Okay, so it was at this point during editing that I realized that Basically, in OBS, you can either record the whole screen or a certain game, and I normally record the whole screen, but for a little while, because I was streaming, I accidentally did just the game. Therefore, the achievements on top didn't record, so they're not appearing, but I swear to God I got them. You're just gonna have to trust me on this one. Anyhow, you're probably wondering why I'm wearing this idiotic party outfit. It's because, strangely enough, there's an achievement for killing 50 people using the Hartman 7.62 while wearing the party animal outfit. I have no idea why. Yeah, I don't know. Oh, there we go. Kill 50 enemies using the Hartman. I found the easiest thing to do was just commit a bunch of crimes and then kill all police officers that swarmed to my location. Finally, you have to kill 30 enemies using sniper support. This one was super time consuming, but the most efficient thing to do is drive to this area between the Barclay Mills and the Delray Hollow, where there are 6 cops standing around. Simply shoot one of the cops, then the other 5 will aggro you, at which point you can call on sniper support and he'll take them out. Then restart the checkpoint, rinse and repeat. Now we move on to the third and final DLC, Sign of the Times. If you remember from the main story, after being shot, Lincoln is nursed back to health by Father James. In the DLC, he invites us to come back to the house that the game starts in to find closure after our father and brother were killed. We go with him, but when we get there, a lady covered in blood comes out screaming, and 3 cult members follow. We quickly dispatch of the cult members before going inside to investigate. This part was really boring, and one of the mechanics is ridiculously annoying. You have to rotate an item around, and it just doesn't work. I was sliding my mouse all the way across my desk, and nothing happened. I did some googling, and for some ungodly reason, you have to set your max FPS to 60 for it to work. Anyhow, after doing a little detective work, the first achievement popped. By the way, later in the game, we'll be renovating this house for a few achievements, so keep it in mind. Anyhow, we speak to the girl who is running away, and she tells us that there's basically a cult in New Bordeaux recruiting members, and they were trying to indoctrinate them. She gives us the name of a nightclub, so we head there and make a troubling discovery. We make our way downstairs and find a catacomb system where there are 3 pillars, each with items containing images of different locations around New Bordeaux. Suddenly, a woman named Bonnie Harless, the leader of the cult, appears, and we have a really strange conversation, which gives us an achievement. And then she sends about 30 guys after us. Here we unlock the throwing knife, which I'll need to get 20 kills with for an achievement. We make our great escape and then head to the 3 different locations. First is a random school, second is a warehouse, and then last is an abandoned mansion. The first one is fine, we just gather a few more clues, but then at the warehouse we get ambushed by a bunch of cult members. This is the shit I actually enjoy in Mafia, just good old third-person shooter action. All the detective work is really boring. Also, the throwing knives are super fun to use. I got the achievement for getting 20 kills right here. One boring walk around a mansion later, we get an achievement for visiting the 3 locations. We then return to Anna, the girl we rescued earlier, and she tells us about an opera house the cult uses. We pay them a visit and then shoot up the place. We end up finding even more information, including the whereabouts of their hideout on another island where Bonnie Harless, their leader, is taking refuge. We take a boat over and massacre everyone, including Bonnie, earning an achievement. That's the main story done. Boy, was that absolute garbage. Definitely the worst DLC story. Least fun I've ever had in a Mafia game. Now, very similar to the weed growing in the first DLC, we can renovate the bar/house. I have to do this in order to get all of the achievements, and it will cost me around $200,000. I have 47. Fuck. The most annoying thing is that I literally had so much money, but I figured I wouldn't need it, so I just spent it all on stupid shit. Anyhow, after making the first upgrade, I got an achievement. Luckily, the weed farm wasn't too far away, so I drove there and started growing some. That will make me about $15,000 every in-game 36 hours, and I also still make about 14 grand every 24 hours from revenue streams I set up earlier in the game, such as kickback from territories I control. While waiting for that, I decided to go ahead and get the achievement Pop Pop. While shooting, you can go into slow motion for a few seconds, and for this achievement, you have to kill 4 enemies in one slow-mo section 10 times. To do this, I went back to the spot with 6 police officers and did it 10 times for the achievement. 1, 2, 3, 4. Okay, there it is. I also got a random achievement from the base game, which I never got before. Cool, before I can get the final 3, I have to finish upgrading the bar, so I'm just gonna go around stealing shipments of moonshine while waiting for my weed and kickback to get this done as quickly as possible. After getting some of the upgrades, a mission unlocks where you have to defend the bar from a bunch of Dixie Mafia hooligans. I do just that, earning an achievement. A little after that, we meet someone who lost their car to someone else in a race. We need this car for an achievement, so I go and win it back. The car is called the Samson Harrier, and I have to drive 50 kilometers in it. This sounds bad, but believe me, it's nothing compared to the 1600 in Mafia 2. I decided to just drive up and down this stretch of motorway, and in less than 15 minutes, the achievement popped. Finally, I waited for around an hour and then collected enough kickback to complete the renovations. Alright, I'll just call in some of the kickback. Thank you very much. And now we can buy the final upgrade, which is an office. So, there we go. I fully upgraded the bar. Where's the achievement? Okay, there we go. There we go. And that is every Mafia 3 DLC achievement. If you want to see me get Mafia 2's achievements, click the end screen now.